So thing one that I want to mention there is always call the cops.
Of course, they didn't do it.
You know, if the other car, which was clearly the reason why they had to swerve and ended up in a ditch, call the cops, because the cops will file a report that will have basically evidence that it wasn't really your fault. Now this will help us as the insurance companies determine, you know, there was a police report filed with this information. We know the facts of the accident. So the first thing that if you're involved in an accident, you should do, call the cops.
Yes,
right? So, yeah.
of course.
Now, tip number 2, I would say, is know who your local agent is, right? Because then, you know, thankfully their daughter works in insurance, so they knew that there was somebody who has some experience with this. But if you're somebody who's never had an accident and all of a sudden you had a claim, you want to know who you're going to call, which ideally should be your local insurance agent, somebody who can give you advice before you call the 1-800 number and actually file the claim. You went through a traditional experience, you want to call the cops, you want to make sure that everybody's physically okay, because obviously your health is the most important thing. And if you feel anything, and especially if it was the other person's fault, don't hesitate. Don't think, I don't want to pay for medical bills, I have a high deductible for my health insurance or any of that, because your health is the main thing that you have to worry about. So if you feel any kind of pain or you feel anything, you should get checked out. After that, if your car needs to be towed because it's not drivable, then again, your insurance company will traditionally arrange that for you. But you know, just know that you have these coverages. Just know your policy. Know that your agent is there to advise you on what you do have or don't have, or how to go about this claim. But yeah, in a traditional scenario, there is a very simple step that mainly has to do with knowing who to call so that they could give you direction, right? But yeah, so now let's move on to the second crazy part of this claim, which, how crazy is it that you had 2 claims in the span of like a month, and absolutely not your fault because you guys didn't do anything wrong. This gentleman who was towing her car from Mississippi to Connecticut, as I've mentioned, Luisa has some experience with trucking insurance, and how crazy that the guy that's towing your car gets damaged. Now you've obviously had a lot of experience with cargo coverage. So thankfully, as I understand, he had good cargo
coverage. Yeah, the amount of his cargo was very good. It was $350,000, and he could pay for the 8 vehicles that he was hauling. It was like a right amount of coverage. But what happened is that this driver was with a surplus line. What's the difference between a surplus line and a standard company, like an A-rated company that you only, you know, can file the claim to them through them directly? Yes, you speak to them directly. But a surplus line, you have to first to call your agent. Second, your agent is gonna call a carrier company. Then the carrier company is gonna call the surplus line. So it's like a third party. You know, like you're going to a third party company. You're not even going directly to your company, because their claims department are like
difficult.
It's difficult.
Yeah. And so in that same scenario, you know, thankfully the gentleman had good coverage, and again, this is all still ongoing, so we don't know how that's gonna go. But now going through the whole thing, you've had to rent the car for now 32 days?
Right now it's 32 days.
32 days.
32 days. And this is my 32 days of rental car. And my insurance company is also paying for this, because the surplus line, I called them after 3 days trying to get in touch with them. I got in contact with one of the adjusters, and he said, you know what, file the claim with your insurance company and then tell them to send a subrogation package, and we'll pay for that. But my insurance company is the one who has to do everything, like going to do the inspection of my car, paying for the rental car, calling Enterprise, everything. And so sometimes truckers, I will advise you, pay a little bit more for a standard company than, you know, a surplus line. Of course, you're gonna spend a little bit more money, but at the time of, you know, filing a claim, you need to use it. You know, you're not gonna have a lot of, you know, like headaches as I'm having it right now. So yes, he had a very good amount of coverage, but he was insured through a surplus line.
And for those of you who don't know, subrogation means that it wasn't your fault, but you still filed the claim through your own insurance company. And then what they end up doing is going back after the other company through a legal process that can take some time, to be honest.
A lot of time.
But it is the way that you make sure that it, doesn't fall back on you, right? Your insurance will pay for it, and it will show temporarily as an at-fault claim, even though it wasn't your fault. But then once they get the money back from the other company, not only they get the company gets their money back, but you get your deductible amount back, right? Because if you have to pay.
Hopefully, yes, because I have to pay another $500 deductible for the second accident. So right now it is a complicated situation. It is very tough, and yeah, sometimes you don't understand, and you say like, "Hey, what is happening?"
Yeah.
So it is very hard and very complicated. So at the time that you choose, who do you want to insure? Who do you want to be insured with? Just think, hey, I want a very smooth process when filing a claim. So it is worth it. Sometimes it's worth paying $20-$30 more than saving this $30, but then after filing a claim you're gonna regret it, and you're gonna regret it. Of course, you're gonna regret it.
But yeah, so going back to what you should know, the next thing I would advise you to be aware of is your deductible. Again, we just briefly discussed that Luisa had a $500 deductible, which is pretty average. Most people have that. And know that you have these coverages, such as rental, towing, whether or not you had full coverage in that scenario. If you're, if somebody else hit you and now you have to go after them through your own insurance company, but you had no full coverage, then unfortunately that's not an option for you. So just, we don't expect every single person to know all the ins and outs of their insurance, but just know that you could contact us as your local agency to be that knowledge factor that, you feel like you're in good hands, because you know that we will take care of you and we'll look for the best way to get you taken care of. So of course, quick plug-in, we are an insurance agency, and so we're here to let you know that we can help you with any of your insurance needs. We do homeowners insurance, car insurance, business, life, commercial, trucking is one of our specialties now. So if you're somebody who's unsure of what you have in your policy and you feel like maybe this is something that I should think about, give us a call. We're happy to go over all your current coverages versus our recommendations, and just give you a better understanding of why you're paying this every month. A lot of people don't really want to think about it, but then when something happens, then they regret that decision. So give us a call at 203-803-2153. We're available in our South Norwalk office between 8:30 and 5:30 Monday through Friday. And again, we're very happy to sit down with you and go over everything and hopefully help you save some money, but get better coverage and fully understand what it is that you're paying for. But thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.